Hello then, welcome back to Tabarestan. Last time, well, we declared war on Georgia, and I'm currently planning, well, my attack on the Timurids, if you can put it that way. Basically, the Timurids have warned me, and the warning runs out in 1482. So the plan is basically to, well, wait it out, if you will, and once we get closer to 1482, we will go ahead and declare a war on the Timurids by using that warning against Persia or, well, Iraq, one of them. And hopefully by using that we will be able to, again, hopefully, take out the well, the Timurids and potentially get a larger Persia. Now, the reason why I'm kind of wondering who I want to attack is simply because I find that if I attack Persia, Persia will be war leader. Thus, I can't really take anything that is, well, Persian, if you will. So I'll have to be a little bit careful there. Also, I could potentially try and help with rebels, but I'm a little bit unsure how that will play out. So for the time being, I'll allow my vassals to, well, finish the war here against Georgia. I might pick up one or two of their forces on my own, but I'm basically leaving everything in the hands of the vassals, and hopefully it will work out to my advantage here. Of course, I would really prefer it if I could break the Timurids, but right now I don't have a good way of doing that. Trying to get in alliances with Nogai or, well, the Golden Horde could be a potential thing to do, but I doubt I'll be able to pull that off because neutrality, but also not the same religion modifiers are really harsh here to deal with. So I think over the course of 5 years, I think we'll take the taxes here. Basically, over the course of everything, I think it's going to get a little bit awkward. Mosul is filled with rebels, so we're just going to raise autonomy there. That should actually sort that completely out. 17.8 years now, so that's solved. The Armenian nationalists is not something we need to worry about because I'm pretty sure that comes from our sieging of Van, I believe. Yerevan, so it's actually something to a slight concern, which can be solved like that. But yeah, we're just going to wait this war out, and then I'll do a little bit of thinking, see what I figure out with the Timurids here. Well, this is a funny one. The Timurids just declared war on Persia, and that puts me in kind of an awkward position here because I'm a little bit unsure if the Timurids declaring war on Persia means they can still act on their warning. If they can, I'm potentially screwing myself over here. Judging by this, they probably can, but I'm really uncertain, and they're also 600 ducats in depth, so if I actually end up in a war with them here, I might be able to pressure them a little bit. I might have to go with some ducats in depth myself, but again, if I play this defensively and it's just the Timurids, then I might actually be able to get something good out of this. So we're going to take a chance here, and we're going to declare war on Persia, and worst case scenario they join in, but it will be two different wars, which means I can vassalize Persia and then hopefully beat the Timurids, or at least force a wide peace, which I find to be completely, well, I think that might happen. Now the big question is, will we arrive in Tabriz before them? We will not, so siege here is kind of an awkward one. Iraq will not give military access. They actually will. That's an interesting one, but it seems like the Persians or the Timurids are already there, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I was a little bit too slow here. I should have been prepared and tried something, or trying to figure things out. But that actually spawns the issue here. If I should now go ahead and declare war on these guys, and as you can see, the warning is still in effect. I'm a little bit unsure if I want to. The Timurids are in depth, so the chance of joining should actually be fairly low, I would presume. See here, they will most likely accept 600 depth, defensive wall. They had the same thing on Persia, but they couldn't join because they were already at war with them. So, not the best, but not much to do. I'm a little bit unsure here. If they vassalize Persia, then they'll probably inherit my war, which could potentially mean that right now that I declare war on the Timurids. Oops. Well, we'll deal with that once the time comes. For now, I'll just leave my guys to siege Georgia here. We're basically in a position here where we can end the war. As you can see, I will release Qara Quonlyu. The only real issue with this release, as per se, is that worst case scenario, the Ottomans conquer this area. They either choose us as a rival, Qara Quonlyu that is, or potentially turn out to be sunny. All of them could be pretty damn devastating for me. Also, of course, they would most likely want all of my lands again. So I think that releasing them might actually be a really horrible idea here. Again, it would be great to have them as a buffer zone, but due to the fact they have cores on basically everything I own, it's most likely going to turn them into an enemy of mine. So releasing them is probably not the best of ideas. Releasing Imerete is not a good idea either. Bhutan could be useful, basically as just a conquest point. Force them to release Qara Quonlyu could help. Caesarea to Iraq, Erzurum to Ottomans. Could be a way to get the Ottomans to like me a little bit better, I think. I have no idea how much of a gain in a relation I'll get, but it could be useful. So I think we'll try and hand that over. We will get minus 15 in aggressive expansion, which, as you can see here, will mostly go to Georgia itself, Tabarestan here, a Ortodox state. So I could potentially take more if I wanted to, and I'm a little bit unsure if I actually do want to do that. It could be useful. We'll take war operations, at least get a little bit of money. We'll take the money too, because if this ends up in a long outrun war with the Timurids, things are going to get pretty nasty pretty fast. So I'll be going with this deal right here. It should be a useful one, and I think, shit, I'm at war. I was thinking that I probably can. Caesarea, we need to increase the autonomy to make sure we don't get into any issues here. This one, Mingrella, I'm going to hopefully sell before too long. So everything else is going to be caught, and as you can see, due to overextension and war exhaustion, and also religious unity here, I get some potential pretty nasty rebels here. Armenian rebels, for instance, Samskem Van. So I think that I might definitely have to, in the conquered areas, we're going to lower the unrest by raising the autonomy again, just for a little bit of my own safety. Mingrella here is kind of an awkward one because I want to sell that, but I can't, and unfortunately I can't make peace with Persia just yet. So we'll hopefully see here if the Timurids ends up ending that war rapidly or not. But for the time being, we'll move our forces back into safety of our land, so to speak, and we'll also aim at just lowering the war exhaustion right away to again lessen the chance of revolts going or happening too fast. So once the overextension is done, we should be a little bit finer. Yeah, as you can see here, the war that I declared on Persia ended up in a war with the Timurids, which is of course not the greatest thing ever to have happened. But I kind of miscounted or misplanned this, if you will. The idea was that I would basically get myself into a better position. If you consider, I thought I could get to Tabriz first. I was 3 days off, but if I had my army standing here, I would actually have made it in time. But yeah, the war against Timurids here are going to be an awkward one. I'm basically going to be on the defensive most of the time. I'm pretty sure that Timurids can't actually call in anyone else too, but that is of course a really, really awkward one. And we definitely need to siege Tabriz here for purposes of shit. Well, this game might just be over, I think. Yep, might just. Didn't help that I handed them or returned the territory. They still ended up in a war with me. And we have all the forces now coming towards me, and with the Ottomans, as I said, this is probably going to turn pretty bad. I need to siege Tabarestan pretty rapidly. I need to win some battles pretty quickly too. But all in all, I think this is the end for Tabarestan series, unfortunately. So the goal here now will be pretty rapidly just sieging this. Then we'll try and hunt down some smaller armies if they are available, like this 5,000 man army. Don't really want to make any moves just yet, because I would prefer to try and force a early victory here. They are sieging some of my provinces, which is not good, but on the other hand, if we end up in this, that they actually attack us here, we could probably win a battle. Even to some degree, I'd argue that even twice our size we could beat, but that is only if the Ottoman army stays out of it. If an Ottoman army joins, we will not be able to do that. It's just going to be way too difficult. And also, of course, I should go ahead and start hiring mercenaries now pretty quickly, because they are going to be very valuable in this war. And yeah, this battle might... Hopefully we win this before the Ottomans join in, but unfortunately we didn't, so we should just pull back straight away. The goal here was of course to win that battle before the Ottomans join in, but thanks to how things turned out, it didn't pan out that way. Now I think what I will be doing here now for the remainder of this session is just trying to draw a white peace from this war. The only thing I really can hope for here is a Europe that decides to make some moves. That's really the only thing that I can do at this stage to win. Urmia has already fallen, surprisingly enough. Macedran has fallen, but yeah, I basically need to hunt down the smaller armies. They do have most of the army that are anticipating is actually here. And again, if I can just draw this out more than they'd like by, well, winning smaller battles. Iberian wedding happened, not good. Basically winning battles like that, drawing a lot of blood. Unfortunately here, the main problem is that they have vassals like Car and things like that can come in to really mess things up. But as you can see, we can really hold our own in this war as long as I play things right, is a little bit careful, or am a little bit careful, etc. I can probably turn this into a victory, but again, I'm going to be really reliant on loans, and we're going to have to reduce inflation to make sure I do not use an extreme amount of money. I will still be using a ton of money on mercenaries, mostly because we are running out of manpower, and we're running out of manpower pretty quickly here. But I still think, as I said, that if I'm lucky here and play my cards right, I can most likely force a white peace with the Ottomans. If I can do that, I'm pretty much set. But again, what's going to happen is that my country will run bankrupt before making or managing to do something like that. I definitely need to re-siege my territories rather rapidly here if I want to have any sort of chance. So I'll just join up my armies. If I can re-siege my territories rather rapidly, Ardabil, Macedran. Macedran is going to be the most important here because it is a center of trade, thus a huge amount of revenue is generated there. And of course we have the Ottoman army coming back to save them here. As I said, I could probably have won this war if I was just against Timurids, but the problem is the Ottoman army has gone to the same military level as me. Others haven't. So there's that, which puts me in a really awkward position again. Now, if I want to make peace with the Timurids, I need to make a pretty concise, and Gilan, for instance, 16% war score. Gilan to Persia, well. Armenia, release. It's a pretty big area. Imereti. Concede defeat, war operations. Let's see here, Ardabil is just 3% war score. That's the funny thing here, that my provinces are just worth so little in terms of war score that it's silly. But let's just be perfectly honest, I dug myself into this grave and can't blame anyone else. Of course, the fact that the Battle of Urmia was worth 7.82, Macedran 15% war score. That's kind of awkward and annoying, but I can't win this. The only way I can win this is if I manage to get my way to Macedran, but by the time I get there and re-siege it, they'll have sieged so much more. Again, it's the Ottomans that's really screwing up this. I could definitely have beaten the eastern side due to my tech advantage. But having the Ottomans here throw down 30,000 extra men, basically it would be 40 versus 20 if they weren't involved. I would have been capable of beating that, I'm pretty sure, unfortunately. And I'm also going to get some rebels here, which is even worse, but it is what it is. So let's see if I can actually make a deal here that these guys would like. I'll probably have to give up Gilan, which is pretty terrible, because I leave Macedran undefended. And I'm actually a little bit unsure, but thanks to the Caspian Sea, I'm pretty sure I can't actually do that. Or, you know what, I'm actually just going to show the ridiculousness of the current situation here. Let's see here, if I offer to become a Timurid vassal, they do not want that. So, war operations, we'll release Armenia. No, 4 provinces too much. give up Gilan again. We'll give back Maraghet to Persia, no. Van Mingarella to Georgia, I can do that. How far am I away now? 17 points. Do they not want gold? Nope. They don't want me to release anything except Armenia. Audible, for instance, kinda need that. Let's see what gives most war score here. Just giving Kakheti. Van. Basically things that aren't core yet, but that's fine. Kakheti and Van, then I can cancel the coring process. And then might as well just hand over Samska too, and then we're 7 points away. Can then hand the last points in with gold? Nope. As you can see here, I'm going to have to give up quite a bit of land here just to appease these demons. They would accept this, but basically it's throwing myself under the bus. But let's face it, this game has already gone on a crash here. What's going to happen now is that I'm most likely going to have to pay back loans for a while, which was a silly idea. But I thought with the Ottoman army marching in, I was actually leaving for another war. I should actually have checked if that was the case, but it doesn't seem like it is. And of course the fact that these two ended up in an alliance to begin with, I guess is actually fairly common, but it's still a little bit surprising. So I think I'm going to send this over. I'm just going to show you what happens when I do this. There we go. Now, I'm not going to get shit from these places, because in theory, I think, let's just go monthly and see what happens. Let's just get rid of my army too. We have been warned by the Ottomans, which is of course a pain in the arse. And funnily enough, we lost our core in Ardabil, but we did not lose the core in Gilan. Or Armenia for that matter. Guess that has to do with the religion being Masandrani. But anyways, in theory now, if I'm not completely mistaken, these should... Oh, they didn't actually, that's interesting. In theory, these provinces should be distant overseas. But I guess I saved my ass on that one. I find it hilarious though that they're not distant overseas, but I couldn't still call a province taken in the area. I find that funny. But as you can see, this is unfortunately the end of this attempt. I'm going to, I think, go ahead and just restart and vassalize these three off screen, and once I do, I will get back to you, and hopefully we do not have an Ottoman Timurid alliance. We'll see how it goes. I'll see you next time. Feel free to tell me the stupidity of trying to take advantage of the Timurids leaving Persia, and hopefully I'll see you around next time. Bye.